Hey, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. I've loaded in my Guido1212 into Sand River. You'll note that I am blue. A few games before in my L60 I managed to shoot some of my buddies in the back of the turret poking a corner, trying to do that little mission with the L60. And when you're running an autocannon and blast people in the back of the turret, you turn blue. So don't do that. Buffoonery on my part. Apologies to all involved. But let's get on with the tactics talk, because I am going to do a PSA here about, and what we're going to call this one, Hackusations. I'm going to call this one Hackusations. Have you ever been in a game, the guy did something you just couldn't believe, or you died somehow and you didn't know why or how? I would say that 99.9% of the time it was simply because there was something that happened that you didn't understand the game mechanics of, or you didn't understand why somebody might do what they did and how that killed you. So I'm going to give you just one example of that, how an experienced player can take you out and you might think, wow, that was a complete hack. How did he kill me? I'm going to go to this spot here, pretty decent spot for TDs, depending on a lot of things. If the enemy pushes at you, it can be good. If you have spotters down below, it can be good. So I go into that siege mode trick with the Swede, and now I'm looking around. You can see that my view range reaches up toward that dune, and on the right side it reaches up towards their little pass, but doesn't quite get there. In fact, it doesn't reach that little perch that they sit on. I see that 34-100 headed that way, so I figure he may light somebody up. Even if he does, however, if you look at the max draw range, I'm not actually going to draw that target. That'll be important in a minute. Same thing happens here. I'm not sure where that tiger is. Now, if you noticed on that shot when I fired, you could actually see it hit the ground. And the reason you saw it hit the ground is two things. It didn't hit anybody unspotted, and it was still within view range when it hit the ground, so I saw the little puff on the ground. Remember that. Now, something is spotted up coming down from their little pass, and that's the 34-100. You might be thinking, what on earth did that guy just shoot at? Well, I happen to know that that spot is a great spot for a TD. If you look at my gun line where I am pointed, it's right over where that triangle of a TD is. And that spot that I'm zoomed in on is essentially more or less where he is. When I fired, you did not note it hit the ground. That doesn't mean that it hit him, however, in this case, because if you look, that guy is outside of my draw range. So if a shell hits the ground outside of your draw range that you fired, you won't see it. So to recap, if there is a unspotted tank inside your draw range and you fire and you don't notice an explosion behind him or on the ground, it's very possible you hit them. You can't use that same technique when they're outside of your draw range. So I fire. Don't know if I hit him. Still have the 34-100 down there looking for another target. Maybe the mill will poke over. 34-100 is dead. But that Udes, I just gave it away, is still there. Dead. Alright. So I actually ended up hitting him twice. That second shot killed him. Somebody else must have hit him in there, unless I high rolled. I didn't pay attention to who exactly hit it, but at 400 damage, if I got a couple high rolls, it's more likely that someone else hit him as well. But that would be a case where it would be easy for somebody to say Hackusations at that point. Who on earth is hitting me? That guy is way back here outside of draw range. How did he do that? Knowledge of the map, knowledge of how this battle plays out, knowledge that people usually get up there, using the gun line that I have, putting it right on a spotted tank, taking a look at the terrain, and taking a shot. I didn't have any other targets to shoot anyway, so I might as well take those in there, and I ended up killing that guy. And that's just one example of countless where somebody has a knowledge of the map or the game mechanics, and they're able to affect you in some way that you may not understand it if you don't have a lot of experience with it. So take any of the Hackusations claims with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen or that it can't happen, but understand that more than likely it was just somebody who was really good, really lucky, or some of both.